Hello everyone, welcome on in. I'm Velvet. Hello, and welcome to today's speed build in The Sims 4. Now, today's build is called Niscenna, and the reason for that is because it was built for Niscenna. And Niscenna cashed in 50,000 Twitch points, and for that, you get Velvet Build Me a House. So I built this for Niscenna. It's a beautiful blue and white large family home. It's designed for gameplay and yeah, for basically skilling up and growing a cute little family in. It's 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and I think it came out pretty well. I did really struggle a little bit with the shape of it. Mainly the roofing. I wasn't happy with that. So we'll get to that when I come to it, but you'll see the house in terms of the shape take on a few iterations because it took me a little bit just to really work through how this was going to kind of sit. I initially had the idea that it would kind of have that sort of the tall part in off to the side, and then it would have like the 1 story part off to the other side, and kind of like in a like a sideways T shape, if that makes sense, with a dormer on top. So that was kind of the vision that I had for it. It just wasn't quite working. Like, no matter what I did, it just wasn't quite working for me in terms of just feeling like it was balanced and just like a really nice shape, a really nice, interesting shape at that. So yeah, as you can see here, it's just going through a few changes, and like that little part off to the side, that was the bit that I was really inspired. I did have an inspiration, no idea where that is now, but I did have an inspiration at the time for that central section. I really liked that, and that was the bit that kind of called me for this build, because I wanted to make it a modern home, and I wanted to go with blue just because that was one of Niscenna's favorite colors. So that's the reason for that. This middle section, it had like a lot of glass, and I really like the shape of it. So that's the part that's going to stay. It's the bit off to the side that's really going to get yeeted out the door in a minute. But yeah, and I moved that part there with all the windows. That's going to go into the middle of the build, and then there's going to be bits on either side, which is kind of where all the all the rooms kind of are. Although there's like what is there in the middle? Just thinking. So in this house, there's actually quite a bit of room for hobby stuff, which is quite good. So in the upstairs area, it's actually all hobby stuff. So there's like a second living room upstairs, and there's an artist studio and also a study or an office. And then in the downstairs area, there's all the 3 bedrooms, and one of the bathrooms is upstairs, and then the other two are downstairs. So there's going to be like a larger bathroom as well as an ensuite bathroom downstairs, and then upstairs there will be a decent sized bathroom upstairs as well. So yeah, so there is quite a lot of hobby space. Plus, there's going to be a shed out the back, and that's going to have some hobby stuff in it as well as everything that's in the yard. So I feel like there's some really good skill building stuff that you could add to this, or that you could use in this house, which I think is really good. Now, the shape is starting to take shape, which sounds like a weird thing to say, but it is what it is. It is what's happening. The shape is starting to take shape. The roofing, however, is not going to stay this way. I ended up having to play around with the roofing for a while off camera, so you will sort of see at one point it'll skip over and you'll see there's some different roofing, and that's where I just sort of played with it off camera because I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do, and I just had to play around, and it was just not going to be all that interesting viewing. So I was like, we'll just skip over that. You guys can see me play around and try a few things, and this is what we're starting with. Quite a few flat roofs, and then I did change it a little bit later on. But, it's starting to come together. That's kind of an ish shape, and then I will change the roofing a bit later on, and it all works out, though. But in terms of the middle of the build, we're good. We're good. That's how that kind of ends up. Although I think I might bring some of that forward at some point, but that's essentially the right shape. So we're making progress as far as that goes, but just ignore the roofing at the moment for the rest of the build because it ain't staying. Now, this was not a limited pack build, so you need a lot of packs for this one. If you are interested in downloading it, it is up in the gallery, and it is a really pretty build. Like, I really like how it comes out. I did want to whenever I do builds for people, and I don't do it very often, it's just basically the only way to get me a bit to do a build for you is via channel points on Twitch. But yeah, when I do get those cash-ins on the Twitch channel points redeem, I like to put in as much effort as I possibly can for people. They've spent the time watching me on Twitch, so I want to give a little something back and say thank you, and do a really nice build for them as best as I can. Am I a perfect builder? No. I'm not Kate Emerald. No, I'm just kidding. But no, I'm not the best builder in the world, but I think I do a pretty decent job most of the time, and that's my aim, is to do a pretty decent job most of the time. So hopefully Niscenna will like it. Fingers crossed. Anyway, the colours are starting to come together. The predominant colours are the blue and the white, and then I'm sort of balancing that out with a bit of the wood shades. And I'm just thinking if I did bring another colour into it at any point. Possibly, but I can't remember. But yeah, that's the sort of the main colours on the inside. And I think, it's really nice and pretty. And I really love building with blue and white. It's one of my favourite colour combinations. I think part of that is because blues and the shades of blues and the amount and the way that blues coordinate in The Sims 4, it just works really well. So blue is one of the best building colors in the game, and when you've got a color that does really work nicely between lots of different packs and all sorts of things, it does make it easier to build with and to give you more options in terms of the packs that you can use and the items that you can use in the game, if that makes sense. So yeah, I think blue is definitely one of those colors within The Sims 4 that is easier to work with just because of the options that you have. And I love that because blue is a pretty color anyway, so nothing wrong with that at all. I am just working on the interior. So just doing a little bit of, am I going to be doing the full floor plan? I think I might be. Although this does change a smidge, and I did have problems with the roof sticking through. The reason that happens is I'm doing a sort of an open 2-level thing going on there. The word escapes me right now, but there's a word for it. Do you think I remember it? The answer is no. But anyway, I'm doing that sort of the open thing, and I've deleted part of the flooring on the second floor, and so it's this open sort of landing on the top level. But quite often when you do that, or when you add platforms into an interior of a house, it for some reason affects the roofing, and depending on how you've roofed, it might actually start to stick through the walls. So it's something just to be considerate of if you are thinking of doing something like that, having that open sort of stairway, or having platforms inside your house. Just be wary of roofing sticking through, because I don't know why The Sims does that, but it does it, and it affects how the roofing kind of situates or relates to the interior of the house. Just kind of odd. Anyway, fixed it. Not a problem. We got through it. And we have a floor plan, and we also have a little shed out the back. So this little shed is going to be our skill or hobby shed, and it's going to have like quite a few little items in it. I think, what have we got in there? I think it's like a woodworking table, flower arranging table, scout board, pumpkin carving station, and pottery. So that's quite a lot of stuff going on there, which is quite neat. I was talking about how earlier in my commentary, I'm just sorry, I got distracted. I was just like, Velvet, that's not English. It's like, what is my words right now? Oh dear. Anyway, yeah, I was talking earlier about how there's a lot of hobby stuff in this house. That was a deliberate thing. I wanted it to be really gameplay friendly. So yeah, that was my aim. And outside of this, I'm going to add like a basketball hoop, and there's going to be like a little fire pit, and there's going to be a pool, and there's going to be, I think, a little garden area as well. So heaps to do in this house. So I think it should be really good for living in and for playing in. The cost of it, I think, is quite expensive. just trying to remember. I've got the number 177,000 in my head. Whether or not that's accurate, I don't know the answer to that. But that's what's in my head. So I don't think it was a cheap build at all. If you're not worried about the money side of things and you're just doing the gameplay side of things, then that might be quite handy. It's definitely not a starter house, let's put it that way. It's for a well-established family, for sure. But yeah, this is the little shed, and I did play test it. It's all good. It all works just fine. And that's how the build is sort of shaping up at the moment. We're going to sort of start moving on to landscaping and building a bit of the yard. So I'm just getting the pool in there. I did want to make sure that I had a pool. I always love a pool in a house. I mean, if I had the option of having a pool in a house, in my personal house, I would, if I could, because I love swimming. So, you know, it's all good. And it's a good fitness thing for the Sims as well. And plus, you know, they can have the little parties, and they can have, you know, the people, the guests that they're entertaining, go out and have a little bit of a swim, and maybe have a barbecue out there as well. Quite nice. But yeah, that is basically getting onto the landscaping, getting all the pretty plants out there. It should be good. I'm using the Island Living hedge at the moment. I'm just trying to think whether or not I used any debug. I'm not sure if I used any debug in this build in terms of the plants. I'll keep an eye out, but I don't know if I did. I quite often do use debug in builds. It's simply because that's where all the nice plants are. I mean, that's really what it boils down to. Just there's so many wonderful plants, and they aren't in the regular build by menu. It's one of those things that continues to bug me about the game, is just how much stuff is hidden in debug, most especially with the plants. Yeah, how much stuff is hidden in debug. That really, I don't understand why it can't be an asset in the game. It's in the game, it's there. Just add it to the pack, you know? Why not? I'm sure there's a reason, but I don't know what that reason is, and I don't understand. But I would love it if just the debug plants were just the ones that are not so, I don't know, the really good usable ones should be out of debug and just in the regular build by menu. But it's what it is. I mean, we can access them. It's just a little annoying. I think there's a lot of people out there that don't know they exist. You know, players that might not be part of the Sims community in the social media kind of sense, and don't think that, you don't really realize that cheats are a thing and that they can access these things through cheats. I mean, I didn't know about it until a few years ago. Didn't know about it at all. I mean, to be fair, I wasn't often building. I was more of just a gameplay, sort of really casual gameplay at the start of playing The Sims. So, I wasn't really heavily into building. It's just as I started to get into building, I learned about these things, and I learned about the fact that we had cheats. Move objects. It's like, move objects. Debug? What? All of these extra items? What the? So, it was a big learning curve for me as a player, just finding out these things even existed. So just think about these players out there that, aren't really, are just playing, just out there playing, and they aren't in the Sims community so much, and they don't know about these things, and they don't ever get to access these, fabulous plants in their little builds that they might be doing. I don't know. It's just one of those little things that always did sort of bug me as far as the game goes, because feels like they should just be available out there. So I'm just getting on with the landscaping before I get off on a rant about about plants, as I do. I get into it every now and then. Like every now and then, it just sort of gets in my head, and I'm just like, Urgh. But I'm just doing the landscaping outside. So I added some I did add some plants, but added some bikes as well as the swings out the front. I think I also end up adding the monkey bars out the front. Yes, I do, a bit later as well, because this is a family-friendly home. I am adding lots of family-friendly things on the outside if I can, so there is some play stuff for the kids outside as well. And I think there's enough yard space that you could add a couple of other things if you wanted them, but there is the hoops, the swings, and the monkey bars. And I think I'm going to do a little garden section here, and I'm going to create a little fire pit area too, which is really cute. I was thinking, parents entertaining and kids obviously running around and doing their things, so very practical. That's what I feel like this build is very practical, in the sense that you should be able to get a lot of gameplay things out of it. But what am I doing? Oh, I'm looking for a platform thing. I was like, what am I doing? As you do. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this build, and if you do download it from the gallery, let me know what you think of it. And did it play okay? Was it all right? You know, I'd love to know. It's always really nice when people give me like a little bit, like, you know, they say, oh, I'm playing with your build, and I'm just like, oh, you know, that's so cool. I love hearing that. It's just it's quite exciting for me, because, you know, it feels like, just with the gallery as it is in The Sims 4, you know, it just feels like you don't really have the connection so much that we used to have with the gallery, because people would, you know, leave comments, and you'd be able to see them in your little newsfeed thing, and you'd be able to have chitty chats with people about different things. And they might say, you know, hey, I downloaded your build, I was, you know, playing in it, you know, really good, blah, blah, blah. And I feel like then we're kind of missing that community essence of the gallery now, which is a shame, because it's actually part of, I think, probably one of my very favorite things about the gallery. Not just that you could share the builds, but you could actually share the sense of, you know, we're playing this game together as well. So I think that's been a real shame for me in the last couple of years, since they changed the gallery and promised us a brand new gallery when we haven't really received one. It's like, where's our gallery fix? Our gallery is so broken. Anyway, yeah, it's just something that I still miss to this day, because the gallery was still functioning with the whole news feed kind of thing when I started building in the game, which was probably about 3 or 4 years ago now. Oh my gosh, has it been that long? My channel's just had its second birthday. Can you believe it? So I'm just thinking I probably started really building about a year or so before I started making content, and in a serious kind of trying to do it properly kind of way. And it's been such a learning curve, just continuing to build and build regularly. And I feel like I've just continued to learn things. And the thing is, being part of the Sims community, I really feel like we share our builds, and, you know, I see what other people do. And with my shell challenges that I run and everything, you know, I often see so many great building ideas and so much building talent, and it's just really educational for me as a builder, just seeing all of these ideas and the way that people approach things. And it's not just about you know, watching speed builds, which I do as well. I watch speed builds all the time, and because I don't consider myself an expert at all, and I feel like, you know, I should always be learning when it comes to building, and I feel like I am always learning when it comes to building. So, you know, I don't want to stop that. And I can't remember why I got onto that subject, but anyhow, we are currently inside now. We've moved from the outside to the inside. I think I've probably got a little bit of tweaking left to do on the outside, but I don't think that's something we focus on. So we've really officially moved to the inside of the build, and I'm starting on the bathroom first. Of all the places to start, I started on the bathroom, and it is very heavily focused around the sleek bathroom kit. When I built this, the sleek bathroom kit had just come out. It's an amazing kit. I love it. It's really beautiful for modern homes particularly, but I think it works really well in any sort of home, just because it's got really neutral colors in it, and I think it's really flexible set. So I've been absolutely enjoying it. And this is I've been doing a lot of limited pack builds lately, so the fact that I wasn't limiting any packs in this build was quite fun for me, because there was stuff that I hadn't been using for a while, like the bathroom clutter kit. I hadn't been using that for a while, and, you know, just little bits and pieces where I'm just like, oh, this is a familiar favorite, this is a familiar favorite, as you do, you know, like these magazines from the Everyday Clutter Kit. I haven't been using those for a while, so it's like, yay, I get to use these. And yeah, stuff like that. Mostly kit stuff. Because when I'm doing a limited pack build, I might do 1 or 2 kits maximum, but I tend to really limit myself to mainly expansion packs when I am doing a limited pack build. Maybe like one game pack or 2 game packs in a kit or a stuff pack. But, you know, that's generally about it. But I really like how this bathroom came out. I did want to do like a couple of different levels, and I love how it's just like a doorway that goes in from the sort of the the messier part of the bathroom. I don't know if that's the best way to put it, but where you do your business and then you go through to like the serene bath area. That was kind of the vibe I wanted to go for, just like going from sort of like the super functional area and you go into your like relaxation zone and go into this beautiful, beautiful bathroom bath area. So I really enjoy putting that together and coming up with that. I thought that would be really nice. There's a bathing area. If you're going to spend some time in the bath, you're going to lie there and maybe you're going to flip through a magazine or read a book or just lie there with your eyes closed and just, enjoy these scented candles. Whatever you're doing in the bath, you want to have a nice serene space, I think, for it, because it's all about, it's not just about getting clean, it's about relaxing and peace. Serenity now. Serenity now. So I think I'm going to go through probably and do all of the bathrooms in a row. I tend to do that quite a lot as a builder, just because if I've got my floor plan there, and yeah, I am going like doing all the bathrooms, it's just quite easy just to go through and do the bathrooms, boom, 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 one after the other, because they're using a lot of the same stuff a lot of the time. Even though I'm not necessarily laying out the bathrooms in the same way, like each of these bathrooms are laid out quite differently, but I'm using the same sort of items. So yeah, that's why I tend to do like bathroom, 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 just because it's just pulling in like the same sort of similar sort of items, even if the layout might be a little different. I might use a few items that are different here and there. Like this, I feel like this bathroom is really different to the downstairs bathrooms in the sense of the layout. But I think they're all quite different shapes, so I did different things with each of them. I don't just repeat my bathrooms every time. I might use, as I said, I use the same stuff, but it won't necessarily be the same layout or the same, same aesthetic necessarily. So, but I'm putting lots of books by the bath because, I'll be honest, I think I accidentally left those books in place up the top as well. Oh well, just delete those. I realized that when I was editing the speed build and I just like saw the books sitting up there on that shelf by the candles and I was like, they shouldn't be there. Whoopsie. They were just a placeholder for just when some of the shelves have slots on them, you fill the slots and then it gives you freedom to place things on the bottom area, if that makes sense. So it's just one of those, it's a building technique thing that I put that there and I was supposed to delete it and I think I forgot. So whoopsie daisies. But if that's if that's the biggest problem in the build, I mean, it's not a bad thing, is it? Oh dear. Where are we at? So I think we're just finishing the bathroom and again, just going hard on the sleep bathroom kit because it's just so gorgeous. I really do wish that the laundry basket was functional. I understand why it's not, but I wish that it was. And I did have a laundry line outside, so there's an option to hang the washing outside, but I thought, you know what, it's going to be painful if I just leave the washing outside, so I added in the washer dryer on the inside as well. I realized when I was playtesting this, like I ended up having to tweak a few things with playtesting, that I hadn't actually put any laundry basket, like functional laundry baskets on the inside. So every time the Sims were taking their clothes off, there was just like piles of clothes all over the place, and I was just like, that's not ideal. So I did sneak a couple of laundry baskets, I think, into the downstairs bathroom area so that there wouldn't be laundry all over the house whenever the Sims decided to change clothes. This is why we play test, right, though? It's just because, you're building and you're in the mood of building and you just forget things. I'm also thinking that I probably forgot the light switches. It's one of the things that I always forget is light switches. Light switches, mailboxes, rubbish bins, ceiling tiles. Those are the 4 things that I regularly forget. Light switches are probably the worst thing for me for remembering at the moment. I've kind of gotten into the habit of doing like a little mental checklist as I'm finishing up a build. I'm like, mailbox, check. Rubbish bin, check. Ceilings, check. And it's quite often, because I photograph all of my builds for content creation, it's actually quite handy when you go in to photograph your build and then you sort of notice things like the ceiling. Like that's quite often when I remember to do the ceiling, is because when I go in to take a photo and then I'm like, oh man, I can see the white ceiling. Done it. So yeah, that's quite often when I remember the ceiling, and then as I'm sort of like just about to, save it for my library, it's just like, yeah, doing the checklist, and then I have to put light switches on the checklist because that's something that I am very, very bad at remembering. So this room here is the first, the next bedroom, which is going to be the nursery. So this is going to have toddler bed. It's not actually going to be a full nursery with cot, I don't think. I think I'm just doing it for a toddler with the diaper table and all the bits and pieces. And so like the master bedroom was the dark blue one that we've just done, and then going into the nursery, which is like a tealy blue and a yellow. I wanted to kind of make that as gender neutral in a way, because I mean, who knows who's going in here, so let's just make it gender neutral, and you can just change the colours as you need to anyway, if you want, or you just leave it as is. That's fine. But cute little space. It's quite funny. I was trying to put in at one point an infant, one of the infant mats at some point, and then I realised it's a toddler room. I don't even need an infant mat. What am I doing? Ah, dear. What a dingleberry. Anyhow, so that's getting to the last of this part of the room. I always struggle, and I don't know if you guys feel this way, but I always quite often struggle with pictures in an infant room, like and with wallpaper like this. I feel like decals aren't really all that great. So having like an actual picture, like I do actually end up putting some decals in here, but some of this, it didn't really suit like a whole lot of the decals that we have available to us. I really felt like it needed more pictures, like framed pictures, more than anything. It's what I wanted to put in there, let's put it that way. And there's a real lack of infant nursery slash, yeah, like nursery framed pictures that are really good and appropriate. Now, this bedroom. So this bedroom, I built it in pink and green. As I was doing the play testing and looking at the build, like I really, really like this room. I think it's really, really cute and really adorable in the green and the pink. I really liked it as it was. My issue was when I looked at the build as an overall, combined thing, it didn't fit. It really didn't fit. I mean, and I know that in a kid's room, you can kind of go a little bit wild. You can go brighter. You can do just sort of different colors and do different things. But it just really stood out like a sore thumb. Like it was a big throbbing sore thumb that just didn't work with the rest of the build. So I didn't change anything about the room. I just simply changed the colors to blues. That's all I did, and just changed the wallpaper to a blue. Just trying to think which blue, but I can't quite remember. It'll probably be in the screenshot photos at the end. It will definitely be in the screenshot photos at the end. But yes, so just expect this room to not look like it is in the build. So it does start out in the bright pink and the bright green, and yeah, I do love it like that. But it didn't work with the rest of the build at all. Also, this area changed a little bit because when I was playtesting, and I have noticed this as a thing, you just have to be so careful with placing items on desks because the Sims get really fussy about what they will interact with sometimes. And I ended up having to take most of that clutter off, and I did some shelves up the column and added like some stuff up the column beside the desk, and then had most of the clutter on there, and then it was accessible okay. Like if you put them down on the chair and then got them to use their PC, then that would be fine, but they wouldn't go from another part of the room to sitting down on the PC with one click. You would have to do the 2-click thing, and I was just like, So yeah, I changed it around a little bit and did that like that. So, but I thought this room was utterly adorable. I really love the pink and the green, and maybe I need to replicate this in a different build that would fit this particular room in it, because I thought it was super cute, but I did end up changing it to blue because it just wasn't working with the rest of the house. Anyway, now we're moving on to the kitchen. So this was a little bit of a fussing around with the colours on the background, but I did want to just, bring in the blue and the white and make it super pretty, as you do. Also, I was just sort of building this, and I was like, oh man, that whole entranceway and just kind of is quite open and goes right through to the kitchen and living. So I end up adding like a little hallway section to the entranceway because I just wanted to just have the sense of a room coming in, like this is our entrance room, and then we go through to the living area. And I also ended up placing like a wall in between the kitchen and dining in the living area. Again, I just felt like it needed that division. Like quite often I'll do the open living space thing and that works, but just with the shape of the house and the flow of the house, it just wasn't quite working for me. So I did adjust it. And quite often I will adjust things on the fly like that. And I guess that's the advantage of making up my own floor plan, is that I can do that. So, just sometimes I'll just look at it and go, nah, we need to fix that. And I did manage to fit a little bar and kitchen islands into this kitchen area. So that's fantastic. And when I was playtesting it, my Sims would be sitting there and they'd eat there and they were quite happy. So they were enjoying that. They always seem to, I find, sit in the sort of the kitchen island and the bar areas above sitting in the dining areas, which is kind of interesting. I don't know why they do that, but anyway, I don't know. Does anybody else find that your Sims, if you have a kitchen island or you have a dining table, they will generally go to the kitchen island over the dining table? I don't know if it's like if it's a relative closeness to the fridge thing or distance thing, or I don't know what it is. Anyway, this is our dining room. I managed to find a wallpaper that I like. I was actually sure I was going to really struggle with the wallpaper in this one, but turns out it was a-okay. I found it pretty quickly, and I love this wallpaper. I think it's a pretty wallpaper. I'm just trying to remember which pack it's from. If I can't remember. My first instinct is decor to the max, but I don't know if it is decor to the max. But if it is decor to the max, then I remembered. But the mirror is definitely decor to the max, and I love that mirror as well. It's such a great decorative mirror. Pretty as. And this is the last little bit I will do in this particular room, in the kitchen / dining. I've been using these shelves from the Sleek bathroom kit so much. They're just so perfectly good for doing all sorts of different things with. But yeah, super cute. So this is our little hall area. So again, just wanted to create like a little entrance area in here. I'm actually ended up using like a paneled wood on this entrance area. I was going to use this wall hanging here, which I really like. It came out with the Pride update with base game, and it's really nice to have something different that we can hang in the hall area. I would absolutely love another, like a hall pack of like different items that we could put in hallways and entrance areas. That would be amazing, like a different like shoe rack and like some coat racks and things like that. That would be great. But in this instance, I'm going to use this cubby from the Comfy Gamer Kit to use as a shoe cubby. I figured, there's a few people in this house, 3 bedrooms. You can probably fit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Sims. I mean, you could add an extra like bunk bed into the single bedroom probably, and you can fit a few Sims in here. So they're going to have a few shoes. I mean, we have 4 people in our house and we always have heaps of shoes everywhere. So I feel like this would be a normal amount of shoes for a four person 4 Sim family. 2 pairs each. That's doable, isn't it? So yeah, just doing a little, I kept on fussing around with that letter rack. I just was not happy with it over there. And then I was just like trying to find the right space where the keys went like clipping through things. And, man, I got there in the end though. So moving on to the living area. So this is our living area here. I really love the big curtains coming down. I thought they were really cute. And I paired that and the white walls and the navy furnishings and that rug. Oh, so perfect under there. I loved it. Very fancy though. Very fancy. But the refined living room kit really came into play. I hadn't been able to play around with that kit so much since it came out, like a teeny bit, but not a lot, because I've been doing all those limited pack builds. So it was really nice to use some of the items from that kit in this build and just really go ham on it. So it's just like, yeah, got my cool stuff that I can use. Sounds like I'm just complaining about doing limited pack builds, but I make the choice and I decide to do that. And I like the challenge of a limited pack build. It's just every now and then it's fun to just go wild and use all your packs like a crazy person. It's like, or just a normal person without making building harder on myself. I don't know. But I think it worked out quite well. So this is the downstairs living space. So I think, there's a good amount of entertainment happening down here, but I didn't want to overcrowd it with things because I knew there was going to be a second living space upstairs as well. But I think it came together pretty cutely. Just got my youngest son is over there, and he's busy looking at me at the moment. He's listening to me, and he's staring at me. He's homesick today. He's being his very best self to be quiet. So well done to him. But he's giving me weird looks because I'm talking away, and he's just like, "What?" But yeah, I didn't want to overcrowd this room, so I wanted to keep it, fairly simple. So it's mainly just sort of seating, and then we've got the gaming table down there as well. So, if you've got a few friends over, they can have a few games of cards. So upstairs, this is all the hobby area upstairs. So we've already done the bathroom upstairs, and now we're going to be doing the artist studio. And basically, I just went with the Art Studio kit because that kit is amazing. And if you're going to do an art studio, you're going to be using the Art Studio kit if you have it. I mixed that with some of the base game artist career stuff that's in the locked entitlements. So you can see that there with the what's it called? The storage, the canvas storage, and bits and pieces in that little stand area. So yeah, mix the base game with the Artist Studio kit, and it just makes a cute little art studio. So again, they can make like money from that, which is quite good. Do some painting and just have a little peaceful hangout spot. And then this area here is a study / library. And I went wild on the Comfy Gamer kit because I love that kit to pieces. It is really cute. The colors are amazing, and it's just like so much little cute little cluttery things, but little functional things as well. And it all just coordinates and works so nicely together. So I went ham on that as well. I could, so I did. It's actually quite funny. I went a little bit off track in this room for a while because I decided I brought out the pastel pop kit as well, because this pack actually goes really nicely with the pastel pop kit, and I skipped over it so you don't see it in editing after I've edited it out. But I was like starting to put like all the pastel pop shelving everywhere, and it was like super cutesy, and I was just like, it is cute and I like it, but it does not suit this house. So I was like, yeah, out the door, get out of here. Gone too wild on the cutesy stuff, but it was really cute. I promise. I'm gonna have to do another little room just using all like the pastel pop stuff and the comfy gamer stuff, and just do like this super cute gamer house. Oh, that's a good idea. I am gonna have to do a super cute gamer house. Oh, and then we can have like those other neon, sort of like the bright pink and the bright green bedroom and stuff. That would be awesome. And this is the last part of the build, which is the living room for the upstairs. So it took me a little bit of fussing around just to decide on, sorry, my child was making lots of noise for no reason, to decide on well, stop it, on the fireplace. Oh, children. Send that one back to the maker. Send that back to manufacturing. Hey? So yeah, using the cute TV with the cat. That's adorable. And the fireplace. I love it. It's so cute. I just haven't had an opportunity to really use that cat TV very often. So yeah, when I saw it, I was just like, I'm going to use that for everything, and then I didn't, because it's just, you got to have the right kind of house and not going to be using the packs, Now he's got the giggles. That's fantastic. Oh dear. Anyway, this has really gotten derailed. It's fine. I'm probably going to leave you there. We've gone off the track, and I think we're just about to head into the screenshots or a tour. I can't remember what I've got at the end there, but I'm sure it's going to be fabulous, whatever it is. So check that out, and I want to say thank you for watching. I appreciate you spending some time with me. It's been fun, and I really enjoyed this build, and I really hope Niscenna likes it. And if anybody else likes it, it is up on the gallery under VelvettB. And don't forget, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. And I love likes and comments as well. I always appreciate that because it makes me feel like I don't suck entirely. So, that's always nice. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I had a lot of fun with this, and I hope you guys really enjoyed spending the time hanging out with me. It's always fun, even though I've got a giggling child in the background making too much noise. It's fine. It's all good. It's not a perfect world, is it? Anyway, catch you later. Bye.